Right, we're ready to begin. Coach Shane Beamer and Coach will make an opening statement, then we'll open up for questions. Please use the raise hand function if you have a question. Also, we ask that you just ask one question because we got a lot of hands and not that much time. So if we can get back to you for a follow-up, we will. Coach?
All right, thanks, Steve. What a night! First of all, it's awesome to have college football back. Packed crowds and college game day this morning with Coach Corso and live crowds and SEC Nation and fans and the bands and the cheerleaders and everything that makes this sport special. The energy in here tonight was unbelievable. So kudos to our fans. I mean, it's no surprise, but that Gamecock walk was unbelievable. And I've been a part of a lot of walks where there's a lot of people there, but I don't think I've ever been around one that was as loud as that. I mean, that was just straight screaming from the time we got off the buses to the time we walked in the locker room, and that was awesome. The cockpit down there tonight was amazing, so kudos to them and our entire stadium. We appreciate it, and it made tonight extra special. Today's been an awesome day for me personally. Just the emotion of tonight was awesome. I'm so thankful and appreciative for I haven't even looked at my phone, but just before the game, the amount of text messages I got from people, and thank you if I haven't responded. So many former players that hit me up today, so many high school coaches in South Carolina that texted me good luck, and really appreciate those guys. But what a special night. A lot to build up on, a lot of good, a lot of things to correct, obviously, but so happy for our players. Just told them that in the locker room, that as special as tonight was for me and exciting and whatnot for me personally, the most rewarding part, the most fun was just seeing the smiles on their faces and the joy in that locker room right now. We were always going to celebrate wins, the fun they had out there on the field tonight. I love coaching these guys. I love being the head coach here at South Carolina. And what a way to start it tonight, without a doubt. Kudos to our defense. Pitch a shutout in game one. Big point of emphasis for us was tackling well. I thought we did a fantastic job at tackling. Offense really got better as the game went on. Did some nice things in the second half, running the football. Nice to see some receivers make some plays. Special teams, some of the plays we made with our punt pressure team, being able to kick the ball and things like that was good. Obviously, we got to be a whole lot better. Just some dumb penalties out there, just some dumb stuff that will get you beat if we don't clean it up and get it fixed. I mean, we got a Jaheim pops a long run and on a belly play right up the middle, and we get a holding penalty on the perimeter, which is unbelievable. Get an interception. We got a defensive back that lines up off sides. I mean, we put a big point of emphasis on playing smart football and not beating ourselves. We got to do a better job with that. Had some dumb penalties, the late hit on the punt, and then the blindside block on the punt return. We got to be better about that. That's going to get us beat. But we'll worry about all that tomorrow. We're going to enjoy the hell out of this win tonight and let our players have a great time. We'll come in tomorrow, correct, and we know we got a big challenge next week in Greenville, and can't wait to get busy on that. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Ben Portnoy with the first one.
Shane, just quick housekeeping. What's Kevin and Luke's status? I know we saw Luke warm up a little bit, but what's their status going forward?
Be back. Kevin will be back tomorrow. He was out with an illness tonight, and he'll be back tomorrow. Should be full speed at practice tomorrow night, and we expect Luke to be full speed by the end of the week next Saturday.
And then just looking at Zeb tonight, obviously you talked about how he was able to control things and not make mistakes. Just how would you grade him out tonight, and what was it like to see him step out there tonight?
It was good, poised and collected, and we got to be better as an offense, just being efficient. We did a nice job for the most part, but we had a lot of plays out there that, for whatever reason, we didn't get lined up quite the wrong way, or emotion was a little bit off. So a lot of things like that we got to clean up. But I thought overall Zeb did a nice job of running the offense and made some throws and ad-libbed on some big plays there in the first half, being able to get the second reads and making things right when it wasn't quite right, what was going on around him. So I thought he did he did a nice job.
Ben Brenner.
Hey, Shane, you mentioned kind of some of those big special teams plays. I wanted to ask first, just how much progress has that group made since the spring? And also, is it a little bit meaningful to have some of those, I guess, Beamer ball moments in your first game as a head coach?
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was the first part about who had made strides?
Just how much progress was there from that special teams unit since the spring?
Oh, good. I mean, they've bought in, and I mean, we spend a crazy amount of time on it. I mean, meetings, walkthroughs, practice. It's a big point of emphasis, and pleased with what they did. Some obviously you only got one opportunity to return a kickoff, and they weren't going to kick it deep to us, so didn't get much done from a kickoff return standpoint. But kickoff coverage, covered kicks well for the most part, kicked it well. Parker came in and hit the field goal, and then our punt pressure teams needs to be a weapon for us. We didn't really get many opportunities for Josh Van to return them tonight, but we got some talented guys out there, and being able to put pressure on the punter and affect punters. A lot of times, even if you don't block it, just the fact that he feels you back there, it creates some bad punts, which is all about field position, and certainly pleased with their progress since the spring, along with the rest of the team, and got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to correct, but certainly needs to be a weapon for us going forward.
Corey Diaz. Corey.
Hey, Hey, Shane. Can you talk a little bit about the changes that you guys decided to make in the second half on the offensive line there on the left side? What was not working for that group at the start, and then what made you guys make that switch?
What made us what? I'm sorry, Corey.
Make that switch after halftime.
Which switch? Really, all we were doing was just trying to rotate guys in there and things like that. Are you talking about personnel?
Yeah, I was talking about the changes on the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just playing players and wanting to be able to rotate guys through there, and that's what we certainly did. So it wasn't like, the only changes we did was they were really, heating us up a lot and pressuring us and making calls as we broke the huddle and got to the line of scrimmage. So we started using a little bit more tempo just to be able to keep them from making those calls and trying to, wear them down a little bit. So we went a little bit more up tempo, and frankly, they made some, they're heating us up and made it tough for us to run into some of the fronts and coverages and pressures they were giving us. And then personnel wise, all along our plan was to rotate in linemen and keep our guys fresh and things like that. So it wasn't a personnel issue. It was really just if anybody was coming in and out, we just trying to get some fresh bodies in there.
Michael and Anna.
Shane, I know you mentioned the Gamecock walk and the atmosphere and everything tonight. Just curious, for you on a personal level, what was game day like, waking up this morning? When did you get up? What was it like with your family, with your kids? Just what was it like just knowing, okay, I'm going to be a head coach today for an SEC football team? And when did it really kind of sink in for you?
Yeah, it was good question. Slept well, woke up about 6 a.m., I guess. I didn't have to wake up till, I think our first thing we had this morning was at 9:30 with the team, but I was up at 6:30 and wide awake and got up and went for a run, which I usually do on game days, and it's a long day, but it was a long day of sitting around thinking about the game and preparing for what we needed to do tonight. But certainly there was a lot of time to sit around and think about how exciting game day is, and the fact that I'm staying in the same hotel last night that I was with. The last time I was in there was as an assistant coach, and then I'm back as the head coach, and that was pretty cool. And certainly my kids kept me on my toes. I got multiple text messages from my children throughout the day of making sure we were meeting and making sure that we were still working hard and that we weren't letting up on game day and things like that. So they kept me on my toes and wouldn't let me relax. But so thankful to, have them here tonight, have my parents, a lot of extended family. As I'm sitting here, I got 3 kids sitting on the floor out here listening to me and watching me do this press conference. But, just really, really thankful and fortunate and grateful to be here. And it was really just just a fun night. I was going to make sure, certainly I did what I had to do as the head coach to lead the team and make decisions throughout the night, but I made sure that I was going to also enjoy the heck out of it as well, and I did.
Hopefully a better hotel room this time than last time. David Kleininger.
Hey, Shane, with the 2-point conversion after the first touchdown, was that always in the plan for this week? Spur of the moment, how did you guys arrive to that decision?
Yeah, it's something we've been practicing. Yes, it was planned that first time we scored, we were going to do it. We talked about it this morning in our staff meeting, and we had seen when we kick. When a team kicks an extra point, we had a pretty good idea how they were going to line up to that formation, and felt like we had the numbers, and that's why we did it. It's a way to get 2 points right there. And then it's also good to put that on tape and make teams in the future have to spend time on that as well.
Mike Yuba.
Shane, after the game, I had a chance to catch up with your father, and he said just how proud he was of you. And, just knowing the journey of a coach, especially trying to be a head coach, what does that mean to you right now? Not to try to get you all sentimental, and I'm sure you'll talk to him more about this game afterwards. But what does that mean to you, being able to go out there and, I saw you with that big old smile before you ran out to 2001. What are just the emotions going through your head, especially as the son of a coach?
Yeah, just that. I mean, I'm being the son of a head coach for my entire life, and now I'm that guy. And there's so many times during the game I'd catch myself like with my arms crossed. My dad did all that all the time, and just having the same mannerisms as him down there on the sideline. And when we had some of those dumb penalties, I could hear him like talking to me, knowing what he was probably saying about some of the dumb penalties we had and getting that fixed and whatnot. But it was pretty cool for, not just him, but my mom and my sister and her family, and a lot of friends from Blacksburg that were here, friends from Oklahoma that came in, and family from Richmond, Virginia, Williamsburg, Virginia, and whatnot. It's been pretty cool just having a lot of people here tonight. Certainly a day I'll never forget.
Jeffrey Collins.
Shane, you had 2 blocked punts, a couple of interceptions, held the Eastern Illinois to just over 100 yards. Is it fair to call this Beamer Ball Part 2?
No, I think it's a pretty good start. Anytime I was telling somebody today, we had a recruit here in town, and he came by the hotel with his dad. He's here on an official visit, and his dad was a longtime player in college and in the NFL, and his dad came up to me and we were talking. He wanted me to tell his son just how many times or how good Virginia Tech was on special teams, and what my dad did as the head coach at Virginia Tech from a special team standpoint. And I told the recruit, that's what, when people talk about Beamer Ball, that's what it was. You have the ability to score on offense, defense, and special teams, no matter who's on the field. And we certainly want to have that mentality. And it was good to see the defense, jump in there. Wow, what a play by Jordan Birch. And the interception, it's a shame that got called back for the offsides penalty. But then what we did with the blocking the punts as well. I mean, that was a fun night. And anytime you can block a punt, anytime you can score on defense, you're probably going to win the majority of the time you do that. So the more that we can do that, the better. And certainly, if you want to call it Beamer Ball 2.0, then that was certainly a good start, and we want to keep it going.
Josh Kendall. Josh.
Looking down at Josh in the press box. Come on, Josh. Everybody in the press box is getting on you, man. I can see them looking at you. Let's go.
I know they are. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm having some trouble. Was your dad on the sidelines?
I think he was in the box or upstairs. I just saw Bill Roth, who did the TV. He said my dad was on the air with him during the game. But no, I guess I should have offered him a sideline pass if he wanted to stand on the sidelines. I didn't even think about it. So he was up with my family.
Have you had a chance to talk to him?
I did. I saw him on the field after the game. Of course, he's talking to Pete Limbo on the field, our special teams coordinator, talking special teams, of course. And so I had to interrupt their conversation to hug him, and he said congratulations. And then when I came outside of the locker room, he was standing out there visiting with Coach Tanner, and the football coach that he is, he said, "That was a good opening game, good opening win, and get ready to go next week." So it was very short and sweet and to the point.
Ben Portnoy.
Thanks, Shane.
Shane, just to clarify, I know RJ was suspended tonight and a couple other guys. What's the status on them going forward?
They plan on them being back at practice tomorrow and ready to go next week. They were disciplinary issue, that one of the core values in this program is accountability, and we're going to hold our guys accountable for every single thing they do on and off the field. And those guys that weren't in uniform tonight with us are all, good young men that will have learned, from any mistakes, and they'll be ready to roll next week, assuming they do what they're supposed to do going forward.
Michael
And then just
Sauls.
quick-
Michael Sauls.
Hey, Coach. Zaquandre White led the team in receiving and rushing yards tonight. Just kind of talk about what the decision was to give him the start, and then what his role is going to be going forward.
With Zaquandre, really, to me, it's just culmination of what he did in the spring. Marshawn was out in the spring. Kevin was out pretty much in the spring and didn't do a whole lot. He practiced some, but not like Zaquandre. And Zaquandre, he was a warrior throughout spring practice and has been throughout the summer and has been throughout preseason camp. So that's why he went out there first. But, what I've said, too, is all along, a lot of it was going to depend on what the first play of the game was. So, if we had called something else that we wanted Juju in specifically for, or Marshawn, then they would have been out there. But Zaquandre certainly earned that right. And we got 4 really, really, really talented backs. Should get Kevin back next week. Got Marshawn. It was good to see him run around tonight, make some plays. And Juju's certainly a great weapon out there in a lot of ways. So you can't have too many running backs, and we got 4 really, really good ones, and Zaquandre will continue to be a critical piece of that going forward.
Last question for Coach goes to Chris Lowe.
Shane, how did you think that Zeb, with everything that went on this week and all that was out there, just handled the entire situation coming to this game all the way through?
He's been
3 quarters.
Yeah, no, I think he's been fantastic. Just very mature, and that's what you expected. We were talking about it in our staff meeting this morning. I think you guys have the 2 deep in front of you, but I think there were 11 guys tonight that were that are listed on the 2 deep as a starter or backup that had never been in a South Carolina uniform before. And that's your starting quarterback, that's your backup quarterback, that's your starting nickel, that's your starting corner. And you worry about some of those other positions, but I didn't even worry once about the quarterback. He's just very cool and calm and collected and confident and poised and just very easy going. We were talking at the hotel, he and I were today, about his dad's game last night and his dad's win. And there's not too much that he hasn't seen, and he was very confident. I thought he handled himself great, and credit to him, because I said it before, that's not an easy situation that he came into, where a few weeks ago he's a coach, and then all of a sudden he's got to go down into the locker room and become a player. And the way that our players have embraced him and the way that he played tonight, really, really proud of him.
All right, we'll let Coach go and get some players in here. You can talk if you have more questions for Coach. You can get them tomorrow night at 7